Hi, Joe Doyle here. As a former bricklayer turned property investor, I would not be where I am today if I didn't first learn the art of business. Nowadays, a big part of my life is helping other tradesmen succeed with their business by sharing my knowledge, insights and experience. Welcome to the Tradesman Support Group Podcast. Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of the Tradesman Support Group Podcast. Today is one of these rare episodes where we go off the beaten track. So we're all here talking business every day of the week, and you know I love that stuff, but believe it or not, I do have some other interests outside of work, and one of them happens to be running. So today we have a guest on the podcast is Kenneth O'Driscoll, otherwise known as Ken Cherry Orchard Running Club, and Ken is a bit of a legend around Cherry Orchard and Clondalkin, and he's a guy that I have a lot of time and a lot of respect for. We done the 100-kilometer run with himself there at just at Christmas, and he really is an inspiration to the neighbourhood. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and as I said, it's one of these off the beaten track episodes where we're not actually talking about business. So give us some feedback, and if you're happy to have these episodes on the podcast, we'll throw the odd one in from time to time. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. So I'm chatting on the phone here to Ken, right? Ken is an absolute legend of a man, right? He's my inspiration when it comes to the running, and I'm happy to do a few little bits with my tag along. We done the 100-kilometer run together at Chris. Well, we started together, but we couldn't keep up with him. Ken was in the Premier League. We were in the Vauxhall Conference, as they call it, you know. But we all finished it. That's the most important thing, you know. And then definitely you went off and done something, and I'm like, I would love to do that, right? Yeah. Which is, what's the name? You tell all the people what it is, and I'll ask you all the questions then, because I'm mad to know about it.
Yeah, well, basically, one of my big inspirations is David Goggins. He's an American guy, an ex-Marine, Navy SEAL, and he put it up on his Instagram there a week or two ago. It's called the 4x4x48. So my mate Luke Parnell, he gets on the phone to me and goes, "Have you seen Goggins' page?" I said, "No." He goes, "Get on it." He says, "We're going to do this challenge."
Brilliant.
So basically it's 4 miles of running every 4 hours for 48 hours. And that's through the night and whatever else through the day and stuff for the 48 hours.
Savage.
Yeah, so but yeah, it was a tough one now, I have to say.
I'm trying to work this out here now as you're chatting, right? Is it 4 miles you said?
4 miles, yeah.
Right, so that's 6 kilometres, isn't it? Thereabouts.
No, it's 6.5. Come on, Joe.
6.5, for fuck's sake. I'll be out all night at this rate. Right. 6.5k, 4 miles, every 4 hours.
Yep.
For 48 hours.
48 hours.
So that was 12 runs in total, was it?
Yeah. I'm not great at the maths, Joe. You know.
I've got a pen and a cal. I've got all the tools for that sort of stuff. I have it here, right?
Lovely.
So what was the hardest part? Yeah, tell me all about it, man.
Yeah, basically, it was Friday morning we started it. So it was 8 o'clock Friday morning was the first 4 miles.
Right.
And then it was every 4 hours after that. So we started on a Friday morning. We didn't finish till Sunday morning.
At 8 o'clock then, basically, yeah?
8 o'clock, yeah, on the Sunday morning. And so, yeah, basically the first couple were grand. Like, we had plenty of mileage in the legs, as you know, from through all the training we do. And but I knew that the last section of it was going to be a toughie, you know, because whatever it is about the first 24 hours, we knew once we got off or into the second 24 hours, the sleep was at to being affected. You know what I mean? Because when you think of it, with the 4 hour gaps that we had, we were running for 40 minutes on average, right?
Right.
Then that left us with 3:15 or whatever hours left. So we were trying. For me personally, I was doing a bit of foam rolling, trying to get yourself some food on board, and then with all that, so your 2 hours are gone. You have 2 hours left before you're getting up for another run.
Right. Yeah.
So you know what I mean? And that's the hard part about it. So in the second 24 hours of it, we were lucky if we got an hour's sleep in between. Yeah, you know, and that was the killer.
And it's hard enough to go to sleep after a run, isn't it? Like, even though you'd be tired, your heart just be pounding. Like, you just, the body doesn't relax, you know. So I'd say, was it hard to get to sleep? But yet you were so tired.
As you know, like when you come back from a run, anyone that runs with us, they love it. The buzz you get from running is great, and it does, it gets the adrenaline going, and you know what I mean. And you're right, it was tough for us. It was. I knew I wouldn't have slept for the first 24 hours. And then I was probably getting the little bits in between. But as you said, it is hard to get to sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so for sure. Yeah,
that was part of the challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the distance is not a challenge.
No.
Once you get into it, isn't it? Like once you but this is a head fuck if you ask me, you know.
Look, it was more of a mental challenge
Yeah.
than anything else. You know what I mean? And we kind of knew that what we were getting into.
Yeah.
But like the first 24 hours is a great buzz. You're buzzing from it, blah blah blah. and then you just start realising
what the fuck am I at to doing? Yeah.
What am I have to get myself in for here? You know, but it was in the club, Joe, as you know, and you came along on some of our challenges. We just love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why we just took it on, and we weren't going to fail once we started. You know.
Brilliant. So let's contrast that, right? From like let's compare that to the 100k run, right? So the 100k run for me, right? When we were doing that, you remember I had a little bit of a problem with my knee, right? And it wasn't even a physical problem at that stage. It was just in my head. I hope my fucking knee doesn't go, you know. So in my head, I had it broken down to 25k's a pop, yeah, 25k's, and I recorded the whole thing on my phone as we were going, and like you can see the different, you're going in the depths of it, like, and then you're coming back out. But remember when we done it, the first 25k through the Fino and out of Finglas, like there was very little talking there. It was like a lot of apprehension, you know. And then when it got bright, and we were kind of 50k in, then we were grand. We didn't give a fuck. The back was broke, you know. And it started to get progressively easier, at least mentally, you know. But how does that compare to what you done? Like my biggest challenge for me is like I don't know how I operate without sleep, because I get a lot of sleep every day, and I just think it's an important part of me being able to function well is that I know I need decent sleep, you know. So where did that come into with you? You know, in the contrast of just running the 100k versus this, what was the pros and cons of both? And then, you know, how well do you function without sleep, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's it. Look, Joe, a lot, and anyone that's into ultra running and big stuff like that, you know, your sleep is where all the magic happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's where you get repaired, and then you're ready for whatever's ahead of you. But with this, like, we were waking up, and like your body's just telling you to stay there. You know what I mean? And it's mad. Like,
what you doing?
Like you're getting up right with an hour's sleep, and for me, now, I love my cold showers, so I made it my business that when I woke up was to get into a cold shower every time I woke up.
Right.
But just getting the head off the pillow was the hard part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the mental side of it, like, but for us, like we, as you say, wherever the mind goes, the body will follow. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I always knew that once I get up and put my feet on the floor and get into the shower, you know what I mean, and so on, I knew that I wouldn't be able to easily be doing the run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just that on the last day, for instance, like our alarms were going off, and we didn't hear it. 5 minutes into the alarms going off, and we couldn't hear it. So
really?
It was only, it was weird. It was because Luke then rang me phone. His ma woke him up because he had his ma on standby in case he didn't wake up.
Right, yeah.
So his ma woke him up, and he rings me and goes, "Where are you?" You know what I mean? And I said, "Oh fuck!" I said, "I haven't played." You know what I mean? I said, "We're within 5 minutes." So we only missed it by 5-10 minutes.
Right.
So it wasn't a big issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't lose sleep over it, but I wouldn't class that as anything not you haven't done it. You know. So what was the hard part? Like, was your head going after a while? Like, were you a bit delusional around like that, or were you grand? Like, or you know, were you maxed out at that, or could you have gone for 3 days?
No, to be honest, once. See, I always break, look at the way you broke the 100k down at the 4 slots. You know what I mean? When you look at something as big as that, and it's even like the challenge, the 44 by 48, that if you think of the whole challenge, you know what I mean, you might not do it. So I always break things down into small little sections, and I knew that if I got through the first 24 hours, that I was on it. And for me, I started getting a bit excited then. You know what I mean? Knowing that we're halfway through, let's go.
Yeah.
But in saying that, it your body is just screaming at you, like, you know what I mean, like, what you're doing to me type of thing. And then the hardest part, and speaking about getting delusional, Luke actually on the last run at 8 o'clock on the Sunday morning, I rang him. Are you up? He says, yeah, I'm up. I'll rephrase that. He rang me and started giving out to me that we're at the missing the 4 o'clock slot.
Right, the 4 a.m. slot.
The 4 a.m. slot.
Right.
And I said, what do you mean? He goes, did we miss it? And he says, Luke, we were out at 4 o'clock. And that's when he go, oh, sorry, I forgot all about it. Like, so that's the kind of stuff you're dealing with, like, you know what I mean? Like,
so he rang you at 8 o'clock thinking that he'd slept through since 4 a.m.
Yeah, that he had missed one of the runs. Like, and that's the way the mind was playing tricks on us, you know?
Oh, yeah, geez, that'd drive you mad, wouldn't it? And I suppose, like, it'd be tougher if you committed to not having anybody to wake you up, you had to do it yourself. Sure, you'd be fucking crapping yourself, wouldn't you? You'd be afraid you're going to sleep it out.
Oh, without a doubt. Like, we were blessed that we had each other. Now, Luke was the one who suggested the challenge, because he knows I'd never back down.
Yeah.
Challenge.
He's your wife, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it, man.
Listen to you want to hear the two of them giving out to each other when we're on the run. They're just constantly giving out to each other. It's hilarious, it is, you know. But go on. Yeah. So tell us, yeah.
But so the great thing about it was we picked a little spot where the two of us, I'd ring him, as soon as the alarm got out, I'd ring him, we'd meet at this spot half a kilometre each from our house.
Right.
And then our loop we done then finished at, say, 6 kilometres, and then we'd head home again, you know what I mean? But it was just great knowing that we had that company with each other.
You wouldn't do it on your own. It'd be a different animal doing it on your own, wouldn't it?
I know a guy last week done it on his own. He said we inspired him to do it, a guy on Instagram. And he said he done it on his own. So hats off to him, Joe, to be honest. Because for us, having that company was major. You know what I mean? It was a really good big part of us finishing. Like,
yeah, definitely. Like, look, obviously it's easier doing it as part of a team, but I wouldn't like to do that on my own. Maybe we're just spoiled that we have a few mates that are into doing mad shit like this, and it's worthwhile, you know. Because if you didn't have someone to do it with, you probably would do it on your own, you know. Yeah,
I'd say it'd be challenging. Now, I know I love a challenge, but I tell you what, to do that one on your own.
Yeah.
Like, I'd run 100k on my own probably quicker than I would do that on my own, to be honest.
Right, because once you start running, you're started, like, this is stop-start. How long do you reckon it took the body to recover after it?
I think the Sunday, see, I had the junior park run that we do up in the Cherry Orchard Park. We had that on the Sunday morning. So we were at the meeting at 8 o'clock, done half an hour run, and then I finished my last 2 or 3k in the park with the kids.
Oh, you know brilliant. What I mean? That's nice, yeah.
Yeah, it was great, it was, now doing it that way. But after that, then I had to go to the coffee shop to download all the times and the different things for the park run.
Yeah.
And I literally apologised to them that the crew that were with me. I said, I can't function. I was falling asleep in the bleeding coffee shop. You know what I mean? So I ended up, we got everything done, download. Thank God for Dave and that were with us. They got it all sorted. And I went home and I slept, I think, I must have slept a 12-hour shift straight away.
Straight through.
Right. Yeah, straight 12 hours. And then the next day I felt a little bit groggy, but I still felt all right. That's being honest with you. It was just a sleep deprivation, I think, which is the hardest part.
Yeah. What about, how long do you reckon you could go for? How many, you done 4x4 by 48. What could you do? 4x4 by how many?
Sorry, say that again, Joe. I didn't get that one.
This is not a challenge, but I know you're going to take it as a challenge. So you've done 4 miles by 4 hours by 48. You've done 4 hours. Sorry, let me start again. You've done 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours, right?
Yeah.
How many could you do? You've done 12 sets, so how many could you do in total?
Would I do? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, how many could you do? What would your limit be?
Would I do? Do you know what? It's mad that you say that, because Luke suggested that we do, I can't remember, I think it was 4x4 by I think it was leading by 3 days or something
72
like that.
hours, yeah.
Yes, it's 72 hours. So I don't know if I take him up on the challenge, but he hasn't actually challenged me to it yet. But,
he's definitely thinking it.
Without a doubt.
He's afraid to say it.
Yeah, I think he was thinking something about like 4x4 days. That's what it was.
Oh yeah.
That's the 4x4. That's what he wanted to do.
Brilliant. You know what we don't do that, and this is the thing. Like, just saying this to anybody that's listening. Like, you're nearly afraid to kind of throw an idea, a stupid little idea out to someone, because if they take you up with it, you can't back down. You know. I remember years ago when we were doing the Ironman. We had a camper van we parked up to this fella, and this fella was living in the back of his van, so we invited him in by giving him pasta and all, and his mate came along, and I was just looking at his t-shirt, and you know the way with the Ironman it has, 3.8 3.8, 180, 42. You know the numbers I had on the emblem, right?
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the yoke and it's like 7.6, 360, 85. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like a double Ironman. He was at the winning a double Ironman, you know? And I was like, holy shit, you know? And then we finished the race and I was like, imagine doing double that. And you'd be like, okay, well, if you trained for it, you'd be able for it. It just keeps going. But I went out for my first long run in a while because I haven't been running. Like, I took a month off running and I went out there with Sean there last weekend and it was absolutely pissing out of heavens and we got up to Johnny Fox's, you know. Right. And he was like, will we get a bowl of soup? And I knew if we were getting a bowl of soup, but there was no more running, like, do you know what I mean? And I'm like, he suggested it, not me, you know. And I had me phone out and I'm just making a little live video, just chatting. I was in the phone box, I know the old phone box outside Johnny Fox's.
Yeah, I know, well.
And I walked back in and I just said to him on the, I just saying a joke and like, but let me just run home, don't mind the soup. And he just goes, right then. I was like, oh fuck, why did I say that? And I had to run home then. But it was just once it was suggested, there's no going back on it, you know.
Yeah, that's it. Well, Sean is the right man to take up the challenges.
Oh, no, yeah, I'll be keeping my mouth shut going forward anyways, you know.
But probably the worst man you could have said it there.
Yeah. What's the next challenge? So have you got anything on the pipeline or what do you think?
I have, Joe. Just yesterday I got an MRI scan, so I'm waiting for results back on that. I ran that 100k with yourself and the boys with this little strain in me groin. Yes. And obviously with all the training I've done and everything else, I'm obviously have to do more damage. I'm getting terrible bad like groin pain and at the bottom of my abs. So I went for the MRI. I'll know in about 7 days' time what the crack is with that. And my next big challenge is the Kerryway Ultra. It's basically 200 kilometres non-stop in 46 hours. That's what my plan is to try to get it done without any sleep. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but
right.
When is that on? That's in September, so hopefully it all going well.
Do you have to have a support crew with you for that, do you?
Yeah, kind of. I have my good friend Noel Ward. He's like my mentor when it comes to long distance running. I'm sure I think you've met him before yourself.
Bumped into him at the top of a mountain one day by fluke. Yeah.
And me and him are going to do it together. Brilliant. And I'll have my little transit van that I converted into a camper. So my girlfriend and probably one or two of the lads out at the Cherry Orchard Running Club, they're going to come down and support me. And hopefully it'll be just for field stops and whatever. But look, it's for me. It's about just finishing. I don't go out to win bleeding competitions and stuff. Yeah. It's about the challenge itself. So hopefully, if I do need to sleep, I'll go sleep for a couple of hours or whatever. You know.
Come here. Do you reckon the sleep would make you feel better or worse?
It's a tough one, Joe, when it comes to straight running. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know because but to be honest, I've never took on anything like that. One of my biggest challenges was the one with yours. You know what I mean? Doing the 100k straight through. And I honestly don't know what way my body's going to feel. So I always just gauge the way I feel. The great one is listen to your body. So I'll be ready for it. Do you know what I mean? You know yourself. I'll put in the hours for training. I'll make sure that that I'm well prepped for it. Yeah. Hopefully I can continue without stopping. That's my plan. If we could, it'd be brilliant.
Even if you're just walking, it's better than don't stop.
Without doubt, you have to consider that when you're doing an ultra marathon as well. A lot of them, like any of these boys who run, are probably doing it a long time. We're only in it like a year or two, you know, regards to the long distance stuff. So definitely be walking bits of it.
Yeah, and is that like the Kerryway? Is that like the Wicklow Way, a mountain? Pathway, you know.
It's an absolute beautiful part of the country. It is. It's all the Kerryway. It's like if you Google it there, you'll see that the scenery is unreal. And for me, whenever I'm at the bottom of a mountain and I'm looking at the top, I just think of the rewards when I get to the top. Obviously, you have the you know what I mean, the self-accomplishment side of it, but the views are just amazing. Ireland's such a beautiful country. I love it. You know what I mean?
I don't think that we value it as much as like what we should. You know, like I've just got into that maybe in the last year or so as well. Running up the mountain, particularly see Johnny Fox's there. You park at Johnny Fox's and you can run for miles all across mountains. And there's like, I think they're called cairns, but the stone cairns that were built 5,000 years ago. Some of these things are older than the pyramids, like, do you know what I mean? And there's all these monuments around the place. And like, if you went somewhere else, you know, if you went to another country and they were there, you'd be like, do you remember we saying these things and that thing? You know, it's just that they're on your doorstep. You're not valuing them. It's just the weather is unpredictable, isn't it? And you can't plan for a good day. You just have to roll with it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it, definitely. Another big thing as well, a lot of us don't wear the right clothes, so, you know what I mean, like, as well, when we're out on this week. Well, we obviously do, because we're probably used to, but if you did get the weather, man, I don't think we'll go abroad at all.
Yeah.
This country's just unreal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And the beauty about where we live, Joe, as well, in Ballyfermot, Clondalkin area, like, you're only a half an hour or 45 minutes away in the mountains, and you're only bleeding 45 minutes from the sea. You know what I mean? So, it's unreal, the place is. I love it, especially. That's what got me into the hill running as well. When you're if you like running, you'll absolutely love trail running. You know what I mean?
It is good, and I'd recommend it for anyone. And running 50k on a trail, it's a lot easier than running 50k on a road, isn't it? Even though it'll take you longer, like, it's just because you're looking at different things the whole time, and it's much. I find it much more enjoyable, anyways. You know.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah, that's it. Like, I remember my first one I done was with Noel, and I think Sean might have been on one of them with us as well. We done the Wicklow Way 50k. We done.
Yes.
And same again. You get to the top of the mountain, and you're just blown away with the scenery, and that takes your mind off it. And then, you know what I mean? I know we always know after 25, 30k the legs start to ache no matter what run you're on, but up there it's like that takes your mind off the pain. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh no, it definitely is. You know, it's just I love it. I have to say that. You know, I need to do more of it. The only difference is that you need to give it a day, don't you? Like, it takes a full day.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be going 8 hours, definitely 6 hours, whatever. You know. Definitely no. Come here, just before we let you go there, Ken, because I want to be very respectful of your time and appreciate you doing this tonight. Just talk to us a little bit. Talk to us a little bit just about Cherry Orchard Running Club, because I know, like, people are listening here now and they're saying, "Oh, fair play that they're doing, doing his 100k and his 4x48." But, like, talk to us a little bit about the club, because I think that's the best thing that you're at to doing. So it's the biggest accomplishment so far, I think. You know, how many members have you got now?
Oh, sorry, how many members?
Many members, yeah. Sorry.
Let me think. Just off the top of my head, there's about 50 or 60 members there at the minute. But we've about 120 people, and we've 75 kids. This is not counting the kids now.
Yeah.
We've about 120 people who we inspired to run over the last 2 years. A lot of them don't get the time to link in with the club, but they still link in with me through social media and other places.
Yeah.
And but yeah, we've inspired a lot of people in the area and surrounding areas and stuff, you know.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Sure, you just said to me one day, I'd like to do 100k. I was like, jeez, that'd be good. I'm like, oh fuck, why would they say that? Why would they say that? You know. And then I was like, oh, I'll just go and give him a little bit of a dig out. But the next thing in my head now is the 24-hour run. You know, that's what's just to do with that. You know. But look, let me get back from that. So you've got 75 kids in your club, yeah?
75 kids. We've on average 30 to 40 of them turning up twice a week.
Brilliant.
And then only recently we started the junior park run up in Cherry Orchard. That's like a community event, you know what I mean? It's not actually Cherry Orchard. A lot of Cherry Orchard Running Club members are part of it, you know, volunteering and stuff like that.
Brilliant.
And so
tell me about that park run there just for a minute. So is that you can just turn up, bring your kids with you, is it?
Yeah, basically go on to Park Runs Ireland, register the kids under the the junior park section, you'll see it. And the Cherry Orchard Park run will come up.
Yeah.
Register the kids. You print off a little barcode, and then when they arrive up to us on the Sunday morning, which is cancelled at the minute because of the situation we're in, you know yourself.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But so they arrive with their barcodes. When the gun goes off, they run around the park 2 loops. It's a 2 kilometre loops, 2 loops of the park, and then when they come back in, they bleed their barcode, and that gives them an official time.
Ah, brilliant. And what age group is that from?
It's 7 to 14s, I think. If I'm not mistaken.
And that's every week, is it?
Sorry, Joe. Sorry, it's 4 years old.
4 years old. So you can just rock up there with your you register, rock up with your kid. 4 years old. I'm sure there's loads of mammies do with the kids, is there?
Oh yeah, that's it. Like definitely, there's loads of. It's a great community vibe up there now. Yeah. Hopefully, it'll be starting back when all this chaos in the place is sorted out.
Yeah, for sure. And ignore the chaos. When is it normally on? Saturday morning.
It's on at in the park at 9 o'clock. Sorry, 9:30 every Sunday morning.
9:30 every Sunday morning. So you can just rock up there. Yeah. So if anybody's listening to this or watching it, sure, listen, what else would you be doing at 9:30 on a Sunday morning? You'd be lounging around your house doing nothing, you know. That's the thing, innit? And you take one of the kids out, they'll remember it, you know.
Oh, without a doubt. And you know something, Joe? The first one we had was a great success. I think we had 50 odd kids turned up.
Brilliant.
But every one of them kids that finished, had a smile on their faces if they were at the winning.
Ah, brilliant.
And it's not an actual race, but it's just, you know yourself, it's about just getting them out there, getting them out for physical exercise once a week, and it's a great family event as well, you know.
Definitely. I know it's a good thing. Linda's nephew went down to I think Linda brought him down a couple of times, or once or twice before he got bored of it, right? But he absolutely idolises you, he does.
He's he's a little charmer.
Oh, he's mad. He's like, do you know Kenneth, my running teacher? So he still calls you my running teacher, you know, or his run teacher. I'm like, yeah, we were doing the race. And like, were you in the race with him? I bet you he beat you, right? And then he was like, does he know your name? Like, does he know you? Does he know who you are? Like, you know, it's like, you're a hero to him. And you know what? It wouldn't be just him. A lot of the other kids would look up to you like that as well. And it's great to see somebody going out and doing that. And, you know, you're doing this full time now as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I am indeed. I work for Family Base, Joe. They're the local charity down in the Ballyferma there.
Yeah.
And they're linked in with the club, you know what I mean? And I work basically for them, and then do a little bit of youth work and stuff like that with them,
Brilliant.
With kids in the area. But the main goal is the community coach, and it's about just trying to motivate people just to get up and get out. You know what I mean?
100%. I think it's great. It's just mad that, like, because I've been running for years, right? Like, I've always ran since, like, I don't know, I used to be in St. Kevin's Boxing Club Bladen 20 years ago, and you'd be running with that, and you do a run, and he said, did you do a run during the week? You'd be asking, you know. And I've always done it, but it's just something I've done myself for an hour in the evenings, and now everybody's at it. Like, you're never stuck for someone to go for a run with, which is absolutely great, you know. And just all you need is a pair of runners. Do you know what I mean?
That's right. You took the words out of my mouth, Joe. Like, for us, well, for me personally, it's like therapy. It's like a therapy session. You go for a run, no matter what's going on in your life, you can deal with it easier.
100%, yeah.
We have a beginners group that we do as well on a Monday and Wednesday nights, and like I look at them at the start of the 12-week program we do, and a lot of them don't believe that they can run 50 yards. You know what I mean? Yeah. And by the end of that, now we don't get me wrong, the drop off rate is big sometimes. You know what I mean as well, but halfway through that program, they're looking at themselves and thinking, wow, I don't believe I'm after getting up to 2k run, 3k run, whatever it is. Yeah. And I always say to them at the start, look, just try believe in yourself. It's doable. You just need to put in a little bit of time, that's all, and a bit of dedication, you know what I mean, your commitment to training and that. Yeah, for sure. And look, even if they stick with it or not, they'll definitely remember how it made them feel. Oh, unbelievable. That's what it is. Like, running for us as a club and as and myself, it has changed so many people's lives in this area. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just about putting on a pair of runners. It's like any other sport, you need to be good at it in order to be accepted into the sport. Where with running, you're only running against yourself. It's an excuseless sport, isn't it? Like, you have no excuse. Like, exactly. You know, exactly. I've done a little bit of triathlons for a while, and you go for a swim, and you go for a cycle and all that. You know, and I'm like, and look, you know me, Ken. Like, my main focus is me walk the whole time. You know, but just like even there earlier on, I knew what this call booked with you. I was like, right, I'll get out for a run. And I didn't have enough time to do a 10k because I left it too late to go outside to do a run. So I've done a 5k. Right. But like, 5k is nothing in terms of running, but it's a million times better than doing nothing, you know? Exactly. It's like, it's 5k, and you know yourself, when you come back after that 5k, you know you're going to feel amazing. You know what I mean? Definitely. So listen, for anybody that doesn't do any running, and we'll wrap up on this because I really appreciate your time, Dan. I don't want to take up any more of your time, you know? What would you say to someone who's like, you know, I wouldn't mind having a blast at that, but I'm too fat, or I'm too lazy, or I don't have any time? Just give me one nugget of advice that we can give to these boys to tell them to get off the fucking couch, you know? Get in touch with me. Oh, right. Where did he find you? Well, you get me on Facebook, Kenneth O'Driscoll on Facebook, and Cherry Orchard Running Coach, I think I'm down on Instagram. Get in touch with me. I guarantee you, Joe, and I know we can do it. If we walked into an office block now, into an office building, and they pointed out the most unfit, unmotivated person there, I can put my life on it. That they give me 12 weeks of their time, that I could change their lives forever. That's brilliant. Well, look, Ken, we'll leave it at that. So we'll catch you on Facebook. You're tagged in this video, Ken O'Driscoll, and then on Instagram, you're Cherry Orchard Running Coach, yeah? Yeah, Cherry Orchard Running Club or Cherry Orchard Running Coach. I'm not 100. I can't remember the end of it. I don't even know my own page. But no, it'll find me handy enough. You know Savage stuff, man. And listen, I'm going to let you go there. When I do let you go, I'm just going to read out all the comments. Loads of people saying good stuff to you here. Doing great things for Cherry Orchard. Fair play. Legend of a man. I watched his journey. That's savage there. You know, watch this man do that challenge. Fair play to me. Smashed it, you know. So, listen,
Thank you very much for your time, Ken, and I'll see you soon, yeah?
God bless you.
See you at the top, my friend. Thank you. Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.
So guys, we have now reached the end of our 30-minute episode. Thank you very much for listening in today. If you are struggling with any aspect of your business, do not suffer in silence. All good business owners learn from the mistakes of others, and trust me, I've made a lot of mistakes before getting to where I am today. You can ask me any questions you have by reaching out to me and messaging me on Facebook by searching for the Tradesman Support Group by Joe Doyle. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.